Xbox On. Welcome to Xbox On, a podcast with one host about one console, Xbox. I'm said host Jesse Rosa, and on today's episode, we talk about the latest Xbox news for the week of May 21st, 2026, including Forza Horizon 6 is out now and doing great. After a poll on social media, Xbox has officially been rebranded to Xbox. If this was a visual podcast, that'd make more sense. I bought and played with the Xbox ROG Ally. After 12 consecutive months of being an intense critic, I am now a hypocrite. All this and more. On this week in Xbox history, in the year 2019, you're not going to believe this, but that was 7 years ago, Team Sonic Racing was released for the Xbox One. This game is a little bit of a nostalgic one, I guess it's old enough we can say that now, because this is the first game I purchased, downloaded, played when I moved to Florida. And you graduated school, moved to Florida, got my first apartment, moved out all on my own, did my whole thing. And you know what's funny is, nothing says, bye, Mom and Dad, I'm my own man. I'm living out on my own. I'm moving 500 miles away to Florida. I'm going to get a big boy job. I got a college degree under my belt. I'm going to go figure out my own life. Nothing says that quite like racing around some knockoff Mario Kart tracks as Sonic and Friends, as Dr. Eggman says, get a load of this, and then you throw some fucking, Chaos Emeralds and then make Tails and Knuckles slip all over the track. I don't even know what happens in this game. But Team Sonic Racing is a good game. I know in the echelon of Sonic racing games, it's kind of one of the weaker ones in terms of how it's perceived and reviewed. I disagree wholeheartedly with that. I think this game is way better than it gets credit for. Most importantly, the mechanics, the racing, the tracks, everything's great. But mostly because, god damn, this game's got a good soundtrack. This game has a phenomenal soundtrack. You got like freaking Hyper Potions doing songs on this track. It remixes of classic Sonic songs, and it's too good to be true at some points. But yeah, I like this game. I think it's a fun game, and I can't believe it's 7 years old. I can't believe 7 years ago was 2019. You know what else is 7 years old then? Is Modern Warfare 2019. That's what we'll be talking about in November. We'll say in this year, this week in Xbox history, Modern Warfare 2019 was released, and everyone will go, but that's the new Call of Duty. And we'll be like, I guess not anymore. And then we will all realize we have gray hair if we're lucky enough to even have hair left at all, and then we will die. And that's probably how it's going to go. But I'm gonna be positive about it. So let's just move on into saying hello, guys. Welcome to Xbox On, a podcast about when your Xbox is on. Now, I do have another podcast called Xbox Off. It's about all the things that happen when your Xbox is on. Listen, if I was like a career podcaster or internet entertainer and I had like a successful platform where this was like my gig, like this was my job, that would be the perfect name for like my offshoot podcast about like it's just 3 or 4 guys. That'd be like my Joe Rogan Brosphere podcast. It'd be like, it's 3 or 4 dudes. We sit around on some comfy chairs and couches, and we vape and we smoke and we just like talk about like wacky shit. Sometimes it's the news, sometimes it's aliens, sometimes it's like cars, and we would just call it Xbox Off, because the idea would be that my career was built through my podcast, Xbox On, and then when I'm not playing Xbox, my Xbox is off. Here are the other things I'm thinking about, I'm talking about, and dude, government conspiracies, bro. Oh, bro, pull that up on the internet. I want to see if that's real. Whoa. I just hope Donald Trump get elected, but I just want to talk about aliens because I'm a fucking idiot, and I look like an unborn fetus that exercises too much. Anyway, guys, welcome to the Xbox On podcast. It's Forza. That's what we're here to talk about. This is a big week, okay? Now, I'm very excited to talk Xbox because my world has been turned upside down, and don't think for one second I'm going to sit here and try to peddle some false narrative about who I used to be and where I am today. I'm gonna own the things I've said, the mistakes I've made, and the hypocrisy in my decision making, because we're gonna get to it. But I'm sitting here podcasting with you guys, and what I got to my left is an Xbox ROG Ally that I purchased with my own money that I was supposed to use to buy cat food and pay my mortgage. But instead, here we are. It's the Xbox ROG Ally, and we will get to that later in the show, but I'm very excited to talk about that. The other thing I'm just excited about is this is a huge week for game releases. I wish I didn't have to work right now because Forza Horizon 6 is out. I haven't played it yet. I'm very excited to play it. But even more so, Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. Oh my God, too much. And then next week, I'm so hyped for James Bond. I don't know why. I don't know why that game has just slowly crept up like over time and just been like more and more hype for me because I'm not even a James Bond fan, but that game looks so good. Anyway, we'll get into it. But let's talk about notable game releases of the week. I kind of just talked about it a little bit. Forza Horizon 6. If you're someone who's an antsy motherfucker and you just had to buy the fancy special edition, you've probably been playing this game for about a week now because you've had access to it since I think last Thursday was when it came out if you got like the premium edition. But for everyone else and Game Pass subscribers and those who just bought the standard edition, what have you, the game is out as of this past Tuesday, May 19th. And the game has released to incredible scores from critics, insane player counts on platforms, it's just Steam and Xbox, but just incredibly good reception. I didn't realize that in like the Forza nerd space, there was this like revisionist history and like kind of bitter attitude towards Forza Horizon 5. I'm not enough of a Forza fan to know why that game was considered a dog trash game. I don't think Forza Horizon 5 was a bad game, but apparently there's like this kind of hindsight revisionist history about that game, and a lot of people are saying, well, Forza Horizon 6 fixes everything that's wrong with Forza Horizon 5. It's the best entry yet. It's an excellent game. It's sitting at like, it's getting like high 8s, low 9s. Like I think its Metacritic score is like a low 9 right now. It's doing really, really well in terms of reception, and more importantly, it's doing incredibly well in terms of concurrence. I know Steam is kind of where people go to kind of get some kind of anecdotal idea of how a game is performing. When the game was in early access this past weekend, it hit a concurrent player base of 170,000 players. That's people who paid additional money on Steam, who paid like $100 or more to be able to play this game early. That's really fucking impressive. Then when the game came out on Tuesday and was available to everyone, it hit a concurrent player base at almost 300,000. It was like 270 something. It hit almost 300,000 players concurrently. And the thing that's so impressive about that is you got to keep in mind, this is a Game Pass game. You could get Game Pass for PC for like $15 a month and just play this game on PC on the Xbox app and not interface with Steam. You could play this on your Xbox for $23 a month with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. People are opting to buy this game. It's doing very, very well. For reference, I mean, Windows Central put this together. For reference, the peak concurrent player base for Forza Horizon 5, which came out in 2021, 80,000 players. 80,000 players. This is more than tripled it. And then the highest concurrent player base for Forza Horizon 4 was 75,000. I mean, Forza's already a huge franchise, but this is like next level. This is, and it's unfortunate because the thing about Forza is it's one of those games that can be massive, but it's not going to like do for the hardcore community, you know, like what like a Baldur's Gate or an Elden Ring or something like that would do. But Forza Horizon 6 is, in terms of commercial appeal, in terms of mass sales and mass consumer adoption and critical reception, Forza Horizon 6 is the smash hit that Xbox has sorely needed for a while now. So this is a massive boon to Xbox. It's not surprising necessarily because Forza Horizon is always well received, although this one seems even a little bit better received than they usually are. I think that's the result of, you know, people wanted a Forza game in Japan for so long, and you finally gave it to them, and so, like, here it is, you know? But I'm super happy to see this. I'll be completely honest with you. I am pretty excited to play this game. I'm eager to try it out for myself. I'm ready for some Forza. However, the next game we're about to talk about, it's got me way more excited. And then with 007 First Light coming out next week, that's got me super excited. So if I'm being honest with you, I'm a little conflicted. I don't know what I'm doing this weekend with Forza Horizon 6. I don't know if I'm plopping down the full price to pay for it and play it day one, like week one or whatever. or if I'm just going to, I got a 1 month of Game Pass Ultimate for, included with my purchase of the ROG Ally. And so I'm like, do I just redeem that and play Forza Horizon 6 for a couple hours this weekend and then go play Lego Batman, whatever, and then maybe later down the road I'll buy it once my Game Pass Ultimate free trial thing expires? I don't know. I really don't want to use Game Pass Ultimate. I'm trying to get away from Game Pass. I'm kind of conflicted because I really just don't know what to do. I love Forza Horizon. I'm not in the biggest Forza Horizon mood, but I am excited by all the hype surrounding it. So if I'm just being honest, it's I really want to play this game, but these next two games really got me hyped. And also it's worth noting, apparently Forza Horizon 6 is so popular right now that it's experiencing server issues. I hope that's been resolved by now, but that was what I was seeing a lot of online, is that at least day 1 or 2, there was a lot of server issue. But anyway, this next game here, as of May 22nd, which is this Friday, the day after the show goes live, Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight releases for Xbox Series consoles and PC. Now, here's another conundrum. I am so excited for this game, because even though I don't normally go nuts for Lego games, they're fun every once in a while. It's that, I've watched the coverage, the preview videos, the reviews and everything. It seems like there's enough of a Batman Arkham feel here that this will give you that fix if that's what you're looking for. And I am so excited for that. However, much like the Forza Horizon situation where I'm I don't know what I'm going to do. Do I want to buy it right now? Do I want to buy it later? Do I want to play it on Game Pass for a little bit and then purchase it down the road? I don't know what to do about this game because I was so heart set on playing this game on the Nintendo Switch 2 because it is coming to Switch 2. I didn't realize until last night that this game does not have a release date for the Switch 2. It is coming out this Friday for Xbox and PlayStation and PC. And then the Switch version is just at a later date. And the same thing with James Bond First Light. I'm damn it, dude. What the fuck, man? I like this new I don't know, Jesse that wants to play third-party games on Switch. And I was really looking forward to it. I was Lego Batman, that sounds like a perfect game for Nintendo Switch. Pop it off the dock and play it in handheld mode for a little bit. Throw it back on the dock and play it on the big screen with the Pro Controller that I love so much. I was really looking forward to that. And now I'm kind of bummed out because I'm all right, what do I do? Do I just buy it on Xbox because I really want to play this game? That'd be cool. I could play it on Xbox. Oh, you know what? I just got the Xbox ROG Ally. I could just play it on my Xbox, and then when I'm laying around the couch or in bed, I could just pop over to my ROG Ally and play it on the... Oh, no, you can't, because Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight is not an Xbox Play Anywhere game, and the Xbox ROG Ally is not an Xbox. And this was my criticism of this device from the get, and this is immediately where the fun and everything that's magical about this device and the theory of this device just falls apart. All the fun behind it falls apart, because it's oh, here's a game I want to go spend $70 on so I can play it on my Xbox. Oops, it's not Play Anywhere, so fuck me. I guess I could buy a copy on Xbox and buy a copy on Steam and play it that way. No, I'm not doing that. So that stuff really bugs me that, this is where we are with that. But again, I'm conflicted. I want to play this game. Also, Yoshi comes out this weekend. Don't have to talk about that. It's not coming to Xbox, obviously. But it's a big weekend. Forza, Yoshi, Batman, and then next week James Bond. And I'm still playing other games right now. There's so much to do. But yeah, that's the fun of being an adult with no children and no social life. You get to stress and worry over arbitrary fake problems like what video game am I going to play next? And I got to tell you guys, it's every bit as fun and rewarding as I thought it would be. When I was a child, I said, I don't want to have kids. I just want to stress out about what video game to play next. And as a 31-year-old, I can confirm it's fucking great. I love it. It's the life I've dreamed of, and I'm living it. So love it. All right, guys, that's it for what's coming out this week. Let's just roll on into the news. There aren't too many stories. A couple stories just broke right before we started recording, but otherwise it was going to be pretty much the slowest news week we've had in like a year or so. However, I think we got kind of saved with those news stories, so we might have, I don't know, like 5 or 6 things to talk about. Let's kick it off with this ongoing narrative of the Xbox platform is reviving, they're rebranding, they're coming back. Is it PR, or is this the start of them making the actual necessary changes that we want to see? the answer is unfortunately always to be determined, but here we go. Starting with this first one from VGC. Microsoft's new gaming CEO has seemingly rebranded Xbox for the second time in weeks. Earlier this week, Asha Sharma polled fans on her Twitter account about whether Microsoft's gaming arm should be known as Xbox, as it's been referred to with capital X, lowercase BOX, or the all caps version Xbox, capital XBOX, as it was used back in the original Xbox era. After receiving over 19,000 votes on her Twitter post, the all caps version won out with 64% of the votes. And I guess based on a fucking Twitter poll, Xbox has been rebranding everything to Xbox all caps, kind of like the way it used to look 20 years ago. So, I mean, if you go to Xbox Wire and read any stories, if you go to any Xbox news releases or anything, any kind of marketing material on any social media platform, everything is being shown with like Xbox in full caps. So this is a very fun little viral marketing technique, whatever, to get engagement and draw conversation and drum up some hype, even though they haven't really done anything here. So that, it's like a nod. It's a wink and a nod. They're like, hey, we lowered Game Pass prices. Hey, we changed the logo to make it look more retro. Hey, we changed the capitalization of the brand name to make it feel more nostalgic. Wink, wink, wink. It's like, see, the new CEO's doing stuff. We're going back. We're doing what you want. And all the while, we're just like, okay, you're fucking edging us all, but we just want to know, are exclusives coming back? Hey, what about exclusives? Hey, tell us about what's going on with exclusives. Are exclusives coming back? Hey, I have a question about exclusive games. And so that's like the big edging that is going on between Microsoft and the fans of the Xbox platform. So yeah, there we go. Fucking yeah. So they basically use this to kick off this new initiative they're doing called Xbox Player Voice, which was announced this week. So this is from the Xbox Wire. I'll just read this. They announced this new way for people to share their feedback, saying, players have always told us what's working, what's not across Xbox. That feedback has shaped what we've built and how we prioritize our work. But we've also heard clearly that this isn't obvious, that it isn't obvious that what happens after you share feedback. It isn't always obvious what happens after you share feedback. Today, we're introducing Xbox Player Voice, a new place to collect your feedback and make it more visible. Our goal is simple: make it easier to share input and see how it's handled. With Xbox Player Voice, you can and they say the following: share feedback on your experience with Xbox, see when your feedback has been received and reviewed, follow updates if there's progress to report, and get a clearer sense of how your input is shaping the future of Xbox. How Xbox Player Voice works. They say, when you submit feedback, and this is just a website, when you submit feedback, teams review and organize it so they can be understood and have it considered alongside other work. In some cases, ideas will move forward, and others they may take longer to implement or may not be something that we can act on. When there are meaningful updates, we'll share them. We want to be clear: this doesn't mean every piece of feedback will turn into a feature or result in a change. Building across a large global platform means weighing out a lot of inputs, but better visibility helps close the gap between what you tell us you want and what you see happen in the next Xbox. While Xbox Player Voice replaces the Xbox Cloud Gaming Feedback Portal, it's designed to complement the tools many of you already use, like the Xbox Insider Hub, support forums, and social channels for ongoing conversations, bug testings, help, and troubleshooting. So cool, right? And again, this is another one of those, like, it's almost nothing for them to do this, but it gets them a lot of conversation on the internet, which draws a lot of positive attention and just kind of helps get the sentiment up. This is really, really smart. I don't know if this is an Asha Sharma initiative or if this is someone else at Xbox, but whoever is kind of spearheading this idea that it's like, let's figure out all these really creative ways to kind of do nothing, to spend $0 and really do nothing meaningful and impactful, that draw a lot of attention, garner a lot of goodwill, and really help re-engage our player base. I think that they're fucking genius. Like, this stuff is amazing because, Xbox, they fucking hear us. They know what we want. They're not stupid. These people exist online and they see the shit people are saying. They talk to people. They live in the real world. They consume products and stuff as well. These people are also consumers and players of games in a lot of cases. Like, they're not dumb. They know what players want and what we're being lied about on the internet. But by creating this more like formal way for you to directly tell them, hey, this is what I want, it allows them to then go, well, when there happens to be a thing that you guys are clamoring for that we also think is a good idea for change, we will then use the Xbox player voice portal or whatever as the excuse or the way to give credit so that we can kind of like fake garner this reputation of being like, oh, we listen to our fans. Look. This is a decision we made based on your feedback, So it's just a win-win-win all around. It's a very clever way to interact with your audience. I think Xbox knows that they have a very loud and boisterous audience. They know they have a very terminally online group of content creators and influencers who determine and it's so much of the conversation, the Xbox ecosystem, that I think they're trying to take advantage of that in every way they can. And this is a great tool to do that. Now, let me just a couple fun things pertaining to this. Who was it? It was Pure Xbox. They made a list of the top 10 things people are asking for. So if you go to Xbox Player Voice online, you can see like all the things. It looks like a forum and people post things and you can like upvote it like at Reddit and basically be like, someone could be like, I want to bring fucking more nudity to Xbox games. And then everyone can like thumb it up or thumb it down. If they like the idea, they can leave comments to elaborate on the conversation, whatever. And so Pure Xbox put together the top 10 things that are like the top 10 most popular things that have been requested so far this week on the Xbox Player Voice since it launched. And at number 10, they have allow Xbox to record voice chat in clips on my console. It's like that's a cool idea. I don't give a shit. It doesn't mean anything to me or most people, but okay, I can see why people want that. Then they have number 9, lower the price of the system. Well, yeah, I mean, that's an obvious one. But also market conditions are making it impossible for anyone to sell anything at a reasonable price. But number 8, they put HDR dashboard. I didn't realize the dashboard wasn't in HDR, but that makes sense because my TV freaks the fuck out when I go from a video game to my dashboard all the time, and that's probably why. It's because the dashboard's not in HDR mode. Return of Xbox avatars got the number 7 spot. Number 6 is allow disc-based games with Project Helix, which good luck with that. Number 5 is Xbox Game Pass Family Plan. Remember when that was going to be a thing. Number 4 is more improvements for achievements, which it seems like they've kind of already worked on a little bit. That's part of this like do nothing, get praise kind of thing they're doing right now. Next, at number 3, they have make online multiplayer free to access. I'm glad people haven't given up on that. That's one that people have been shouting about for quite a while on Xbox. Keep it up, especially if you're going to have Steam on the next Xbox. You kind of have no fucking choice but to make the multiplayer free for Xbox. Number 2, backwards compatibility. Expand backwards compatibility more. Yes, fucking please. Let's get Tony Hawk games and Spider-Man games and Activision shit all over this backwards compatibility list. I would love it. And then the number 1, overwhelmingly the number 1 request is, of course, bring back console exclusives. And it's so funny because I was thinking about it's like nobody gives a shit that Xbox is on PC. In fact, I know I speak for myself, but I think I speak for most Xbox fans when I say I think people actually like that Xbox is PC, that the idea is like, Xbox Play Anywhere, it's awesome. The idea that like if I buy a game on my Xbox, I can also play it on my PC. I can play it on my ROG Ally, I can play it on my whatever PC handheld device I have, because PC is a Windows-based Xbox Microsoft thing. And one version's your PC version, one version's your handheld version, one version's your home console version. Xbox should be kind of like very in touch with and synonymous with PC. I love how everyone likes that. But the second it's like Xbox putting their games on PlayStation or Switch, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? And I just love that that sentiment never dies down. It's still what everyone fucking wants. So I'm a big fan of this website, even though I don't think it will really be a thing that brings about any meaningful change, but I like the sentiment of it, and it is fun to go on there and read what people are saying. In fact, one more fun thing here is that I actually post. I never post online. I never post on YouTube videos. I never reach out to podcasts I listen to. I'm not one who talks on the internet, but I was like, what the fuck? I'll give it a go. And so on the Xbox Player Voice, I left a comment. And it's been up there for about 24 hours as of this time. And I can confidently say, I firmly report, happy to report, it has 0 upvotes and 0 comments as of now. It's very much on the bottom of the of the forum. But yeah, my Xbox player voice feedback was to get rid of Xbox Game Pass. I'm sure that will be a popular one. I wrote, Game Pass was a neat idea, but simply does not work and makes Xbox a more stressful platform to interface with, while also making it a less prosperous platform for developers. Xbox users are now trained to not buy games, and the ecosystem is suffering greatly for it. Games are meant to be supported with dollars and time invested. Game Pass waters down the economics of the business and trivializes the hard work of developers. Let's make a robust ecosystem where players choose to put down their money in exchange for games a la carte, all while offering compelling exclusives for those that have invested in the Xbox platform. I fucking stand by that wholeheartedly. I love that feedback. That's probably just me. They tout that's like, oh yeah, someone at Xbox will get back with you if they want to follow up on this feedback. Something tells me no one's going to follow up with me on this feedback. Just call it a hunch, but that's probably the first and only time that it's ever going to get read aloud. So there's my feedback, but no, this is cool. Even if it is very much performative, which I suspect most of this is, it's like, okay, we got the green logo back. We got the all caps name back. They're telling us they want our feedback. They got this new website all dedicated to it. This is cool. This is great. But the thing is, it's like, I'm not saying I don't appreciate the freebies, like the updates to achievements and the new logo and the reduction in Game Pass pricing. But I'm like, until we get something that's truly substantive and that's going to have to come down with to really rolling out a vision for Xbox and explaining to us how Project Helix is something that's going to be commercially viable, or until they take back exclusives, or until they really do invest in expanding backwards compatibility or doing anything meaningful like that. Until any of that happens, it really is just all, just performative, nonsensical little bells and whistles to kind of shut the people up and turn the negative sentiment into something a little more positive. But that doesn't mean I don't appreciate these things. It's like, I don't listen. If your dad hits you, you got a problem there, because you shouldn't have a physically abusive father. However, if he feels bad that he hit you and then gets you an ice cream, doesn't really fix the problem of your broken family and your abusive dad. But I'm not going to say no to ice cream, right? So that's kind of how this is with Xbox. Like, I'm not going to say no to ice cream, but I kind of wish Dad would stop hitting me. That's all. All right, guys, let's talk about these new unannounced controllers that have surfaced online as of last week. I feel like there's so much to say here, but I have personally nothing to say about this. You may have seen this already, but images, this is from VGC, images of what reportedly showed 2 new Xbox controllers have appeared online, including an Elite Series 3 controller, which we've only been waiting for 5 years, and what's claimed to be an Xbox cloud gaming controller. Images posted by Technoblog claim to show 2 new peripherals from Microsoft, one which would be continuous of the popular premium controller line, the Elite controller, and the other which would mark a new line of controllers for the publisher. The so-called Xbox Cloud controller features a flat rectangular pad. It looks kind of like that Wii Pro controller from the original Nintendo Wii that plugged into a Wii remote. Anyway, it has 2 small grips from either side. The controller is seemingly featuring all of the buttons of the standard Xbox controller, but in a much smaller form factor, presumably designed for travel and portability. For example, the triggers and the shoulder buttons are much more Joy-Con-like Nintendo Joy-Con-like. The top of the controller features a new button next to a cloud logo, which appears to hint that the controller would be used for cloud purposes. Now, this follows reports from earlier this year that Xbox is developing a controller that would be able to connect to games via a Wi-Fi connection. The use case being that users want to stream their games to a non-traditional Xbox platform, like maybe a smart TV or something like that, or a Roku stick, perhaps. The Elite Series 3 controller is similar to the second series of Microsoft's premium controller range in terms of shape. However, it now features 2 small silver scrolling wheels at the base of the controller, near where you plug it in. It's unclear what these are for, but they could serve the same purpose as similarly placed buttons on the DualSense Edge controller that PlayStation offers, which allows players to swap between controller layout profiles. According to Technoblog, the controller will include a 500 milliamp battery, which will use Bluetooth and Wi-Fi 6 for connectivity. And apparently that's a smaller battery than the one that's in the Elite Series 2 controller. So interesting there. Now, So you can find these leaked photos online. Like you can blatantly see them. I'm assuming these controllers are going to be announced and shown at this Xbox showcase this June. So we'll probably get some pretty concrete information about these in like 2 to 3 weeks. Is my guess. But man, this Elite Series 3 controller, like, it looks pretty much like the Elite Series 3 or 2 controller, this Model 3 version, whatever. Except I don't know, the face buttons look a little more like generic. It looks like an Xbox controller, but the face buttons specifically look like some random third-party Mad Catz knockoff. And then it has like these silver scroll wheels on the bottom where you would like plug in like a wired headphone. So it's a very weird. Okay, let me put it this way. I feel like we waited way too long for this controller because the jump between the Xbox Elite Series 1 and 2 controller was like, 2 years or something? And then this is like 6 years. And the thing that was annoying is that the Elite Series 2 controller came out right before the Xbox Series X. So like I never wanted to buy one, and I'm sure there's other people like me, because that controller was molded after the Xbox One controller and then came out right before the Xbox Series X and S came out. So it was like, yeah, sure, you can buy the Elite Series 2 controller and it's a great premium controller, but it's modeled after what is like instantly now the outdated controller. Even though the Series X controller is only mildly different in terms of shape and stuff compared to the Xbox One controller, but still, it's like, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm getting the old thing in a way. Like I'm paying more money for a premium version of the old thing. So it will be good to have one that is up to date ergonomically and aesthetically with where Xbox controllers are now. But other than that, I mean, obviously the big thing to talk about here, the more important thing is this Wii Pro controller looking fucking square ass SNES nonsensical 8-bit do Mad Catz knockoff controller. These are designed for cloud streaming, of course. I don't really understand exactly how the technology works. If it's like this device will connect to the cloud and then you'll run the Xbox app from your TV, and then using the same internet connection, instead of the device connecting to your TV, it will connect to the cloud so that you have lower latency because the controller is responding to, I don't know. Like, I just don't even know. Or is it like the idea is that like this controller is the Roku stick? Like this thing connects to your TV, which is connected to an Xbox app, and then is able to provide fucking the experience needed to run Xbox's app or stream Xbox to your TV or whatever. I don't really fully understand it. It seems like another one of these like push cloud initiatives that like is cool in theory, but nobody gives a shit about. So again, it's I don't know. It's hard sometimes because this is technically big news. This is a big product. This is a big deal that Xbox is working on this stuff. They're dumping money and investment into this stuff. But as an Xbox fan who's watching this brand kind of water itself down and be in this precarious situation, it's like, I don't want to see what you're cooking up for fucking cloud gamers in India. I want to know what the fuck you're doing to make it right on Xbox right now. What are we doing about exclusives? What are we doing about backwards compatibility? What's going on with this next console you're working on? And so like stuff like this gets in the way, and it's just like, it's not that I'm not excited about new stuff, but it's like, I don't know. We've seen the leaks and the reports. It's like we were waiting for that Project Seville controller, which would have been super awesome, but instead we're getting some shitty fucking mobile looking controller with an Xbox button on it that, let's be frank, no one probably wants. So I don't know, man. This is just weird to me, especially because Xbox, like, if there's one thing we can say about Xbox, it's like just kind of indisputable. It's that Xbox makes the best controllers in video games. Like, just no one does it better than Xbox. So why would we want this shitty, like cramped, uncomfortable looking version of an Xbox controller? It kind of defeats what's special about Xbox. However, I guess portability is a factor worth considering, since Xbox doesn't really have a whole lot of stuff that is portable. Like maybe if you're a guy who's on the road traveling, you throw this little square puck thing in your bag, and then when you get to the hotel, you can connect it to the hotel TV and play your Xbox stuff via the cloud. I don't know, but I'll be curious to see more on this. I just can't imagine that either one of these controllers is really anything that anyone was asking for, especially because it just seems like the Elite 3 controller is just I don't know, just a tad on like the underwhelming side based on these leaks and renders. But who knows? Maybe these things have evolved quite a bit since the photos that leaked were taken, and maybe there's a lot more features and stuff. I highly, highly doubt it, but it's possible, I guess. I mean, the Elite Series 3 controller finally has the game share button in the middle that like the modern Xbox controllers have, so that's cool, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, again, not trying to be negative, just I just don't really have like too much enthusiasm for what we're seeing there, and I'm a little disappointed if I'm being completely honest about the Elite Series controller, because I'm always looking for an excuse to finally buy one of those, but I just probably gotta admit it. It's not for me. I don't need a pro controller. I don't need like an elite gaming controller. I'm a regular guy. I don't play sweaty games, or I play sweaty games in a very casual way. There we go. I don't know. All right, so here are the two stories that kind of just broke as of today. This first one being that Xbox has hired two important figures to help steer the Xbox console brand into the future: Matthew Ball and Scott Van Villay. The news comes from the game business, which revealed that Ball will join Xbox as the new Chief Strategy Officer, and Van Villay will join as Chief Technology Officer. Ball wrote the 2022 bestseller, The Metaverse, and previously worked on Amazon Studios. He's currently the CEO of Epsilon, and a firm that provides investment and strategic advisory services in addition to producing television, films, and video games. Don't love the way that sounds. Van Villette previously led engineering for Microsoft Teams during COVID-19 and worked on the Azure OpenAI, but also worked across Amazon services as he was VP of Digital Play at Mattel. So, I don't know. It's good to get some outside talent, some people with some other perspectives, kind of like Asha Sharma. It's like, yeah, these people might have some experience or be from a different division of Microsoft to some extent, but it's good to get some fresh eyes, some fresh blood in here. And at this point, it's like, I don't know, these backgrounds that we're seeing from all these people coming in and stuff range anywhere from like concerning to like boring. These two guys here are kind of no different from that regard. I don't know. I don't want a guy who does anything with investment and strategic advisory. I don't want a guy that does anything with the metaverse. I don't want a guy that does anything with Azure or OpenAI. However, if they keep bringing little things like decapitalizing the Xbox name and giving us a platform to bitch and moan on, I mean, then fucking take my money, Mr. Ball. I don't know. But yeah. Additionally, Chris Schnakenberg has been promoted to Corporate VP of Partnership and Business Development. Schnakenberg joined from Activision Blizzard, and his focus is now on third-party games and publishers working alongside Xbox. So this is a guy coming over from Activision. They should have probably brought more Activision people over a long time ago. But in an email to the staff, Asha Sharma said that these changes are about strengthening the foundation by creating more clarity and improving execution. Yes, we need to improve clarity and execution at Xbox a lot. She says, as we head towards the showcase and beyond, we'll continue making the changes needed to position Xbox for the future. So not really a whole lot to glean here, just kind of these guys that exist and the backgrounds they come from. Again, I'm just going to continue to say, just like Asha Sharma, what Xbox needs is a big old shot in the arm, and the people who were associated with being gamers and being one of us, like Phil Spencer, they weren't really able to turn it around and do what needed to be done, whether that was because of Phil's shortcomings or because of the overreach of higher-ups at Microsoft. We don't really fully know anymore. However, if we can get good results from unexpected newcomers, regardless of their background, sure, I don't know, man. I mean, I used to bag groceries at Publix. It doesn't mean that I wouldn't be a good masseuse. It just means I used to bag groceries at Publix. I don't know. Not really comparable. It's not like my career experience. That was just a part-time job in high school, but you get the idea, I guess, maybe. I don't know. All right, let's talk about Embracer Group. We haven't talked about them in a long time, actually. It's surprising to see them here in the news, but from VGC, they have announced that they are splitting into two public companies, Embracer Group is, with a new spinoff taking over its biggest game IPs, including Tomb Raider. Fellowship Entertainment, the new company, is planned to establish next year in 2027, will be an IP-led entertainment company built around developing, publishing, and licensing of games with single centralized business plans. The new company will take over the stewardship of Lord of the Rings, a game franchise such as Tomb Raider, Darksiders, Dead Island, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Metro, and Remnant. Studios joining the company will be the likes of 4A Games, Crystal Dynamics, Dambuster, Dark Horse, Eidos Montreal, Fish Labs, Flying Wild Hog Studios, Gunfire, Middle-earth Enterprises, Red Octane Games, and Warhorse Studios. So really, really strong stable of developers. And then Embracer will continue to operate as a highly decentralized organization with distinct strategies across its business segments and oversee IP, including Destroy All Humans, Desperados, Gothic, Killing Floor, Kingdom of Amalur, MX vs. ATV, Reanimal, Ride, Screamer, Titan Quest, Wreckfest, as well as licensed games such as Hot Wheels Unleashed and SpongeBob SquarePants. The companies remaining with Embracer include Aspyr, Beamdog, Crazy Labs, Deca, Demiurge, DPI, Merchandise Limited Run Games. I didn't know they had Limited Run Games. Milestone, I didn't know they had Milestone either. PlayOn Partners, PlayOn Pictures, THQ Nordic, including 35 studios and subsidiaries, Tripwire, and Vertigo. So, well, let's read this here. I guess, according to the announcement, this is about more flexibility to pursue mergers and acquisitions, which makes me want to fucking vomit after you laid off so many people and it's become such a rough time in the industry. How the fuck could we be talking about mergers and acquisitions? But Embracer's current CEO, Phil Rogers, and COO, Lee Gunishard, will transition to become the COO and CEO of Fellowship Entertainment, along with CFO Nuge Boulon. A recruitment process for the new CEO and CFO of Embracer has been initiated, the company said. So Embracer's looking for new heads, and the current guys are going over to this new team. Lars Wingford, chair and board member of Embracer Group, who used to be the CEO, said in a letter to shareholders that the main rationale for the spinoff is to increase management focus and capture full joint potential of IP with respect to communities and some of the best game developers in the world. He said, I think the assets held by Fellowship are among the most undervalued in the industry, and I feel it my duty as the largest shareholder is to change this and create a structure to realize their full potential. I'm convinced my Fellowship Entertainment could reach industry-leading profitability and show healthy long-term organic growth and industry average. Above the industry average. So I think it's pretty clear what's going on. I read this as like, hey, they want to take the surefire stuff, you know, the bigger budget, the bigger IP, the more established, recognizable, heavy-hitting stuff. Lord of the Rings, Tomb Raider, Darksiders, Metro, Kingdom Come. They want to take that stuff and they want to set it aside and be like, this is like our bread and butter team, Fellowship Entertainment. They're like Ubisoft or EA or Activision. You know what to expect from these guys. These guys are going to do the big, heavy hitting, high budget, you know, big swing but big reward kind of games. And then Embracer is going to continue to be the smaller games to middleware stuff. So we'll do, you know, things people know, but like older things like Destroy All Humans or Killing Floor. We'll do some licensed stuff like Hot Wheels and SpongeBob. We'll do, you know, whatever, some other smaller games. And this will allow us to take risks, try new things. Some things will work, some things won't. But rather than having a mix of small and big, we'll have the small, more risky stuff over here. And then the bigger, more like swing and big, you know, high potential, high risk stuff over on this other team. And so they're kind of like hedging their bets by dividing the two types of things they have in two separate ways. I think this is smart if you're trying to increase your chances of survivability, but trying to position yourself for additional mergers and acquisitions, I think is reckless and irresponsible at this current point in time. And even talking about it, I just think is a little disrespectful currently, but whatever. But yes, I think this is in some ways, it's a shrewd, bold move, but at the same time, I feel like Embracer Group is always out here just being a fucking wild card, and today is no different. But yes, I look forward to hopefully Embracer putting together a strong company with Fellowship Entertainment at the very least, because they are currently holding some very beloved, very important IP, and I don't want to see it get fucked up. I mean, they haven't even put out one of these Tomb Raider games yet. They got two of them in the works. One of them's coming out this year. So, yeah, let's see what we could do. Let's see if Fellowship Entertainment is a brand we start seeing. I guess we'll start seeing it next year, since they said established in 2027. But yeah, we'll have to see. Good to see something from Embracer. Glad to see they're not dead after firing all these fucking people and buying all these teams and blowing up the industry. So there you go. And then our last story here, just a little wrap up, some Game Pass updates from XboxWire.com. You know how it works. So we got some games here now. We got some games coming later in the month, some games leaving the service. So let's talk about it real quick. Available today, obviously the big one here is Forza Horizon 6 is out now. Dead Static Drive is out now, along with My Friend Peppa Pig, Pigeon Simulator, and Remnant 2. And Winterboro. Now, Remnant 2 and Winterboro have been on Xbox, but they are now on Game Pass Premium. And then Luna Abyss is also out as of now. Coming soon, and that's a day one Game Pass game. Coming soon though, Escape Simulator comes to Xbox, PC, and cloud on May 27th. Echo Generation 2, also day one Game Pass game, comes May 27th. Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition, that's the original one, comes to console, cloud, and PC on May 27th, and as part of Premium. Crash Out Crew comes to Game Pass for console, cloud, PC, and handheld on May 28th, another day one Game Pass game. And then Kabuto Park, day one Game Pass game, comes out on May 28th. Lastly, on June 2nd, Final Fantasy 6 and Jurassic World Evolution 3 come to Game Pass for cloud, console, PC, and that's it. So lots of games coming to Game Pass, lots of value there for you that still want to have the premium or ultimate tiers. But on May 31st, the following games will be leaving the service, so give them a go now before they're gone. Those are Against the Storm, Crypt Custodian, Metaphor ReFantazio, which is a big one, Persona 4 Golden, and Spray Paint Simulator. So give them a go. Maybe buy them now at a discount before they leave Game Pass. And that will do it for our news, you guys. I'm going to take a quick water break, come right back, and then we can talk about the games I've been playing and whatnot. So let's get into that. All right, guys, let's get into the games I've been playing this week. But before I can tell you about the ROG Ally, the games I've been playing, all that, gotta tell you first about what it is. What is it that I have been eating? What is it I've been eating? What it is I've been eating, guys? Saltgrass. It's back. It's been a long time. I didn't realize it. It's been like 5 years. Yeah, I think it's been like 5 years since I've been here. We talked about it on the podcast way back when, the one time I went, but this is like the place, dude. This is like where dreams come true. Saltgrass is a chain of steakhouse restaurants. Think Longhorn Steakhouse, basically, but from a different brand. This company's called Landry's. They are really common out in Texas, which is where the Landry's company is from. But these restaurants are not all over the country. They're like kind of in specific states. And in Florida, there's really only like 2 locations for Saltgrass. I just so happen to live relatively close to them because Orlando and tourism and all that. So thankfully that's the case. But I was very, past week, a lot of things. I had a work function all weekend. Had my mom visiting all the week leading up to that. And then on Sunday, my girlfriend's parents were like, "Hey, surprise! We're in Florida looking at retirement homes maybe one day. Surprise!" And we're just like, "What the hell?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're like an hour and a half from your house. Can we come over?" And we're like, "What the hell?" So future in-laws, girlfriend's parents, whatever, come over, and it's great to have them, whatever, all is well. And they're like, "Hey, let's go out to dinner. Let's go somewhere special. Let's celebrate." I thought Sunday was going to be my one day to sit my ass on the couch and play Vampire Crawlers, but no, we have to go out. And so I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, whatever." And my girlfriend and I have been talking about how we want to go to Saltgrass. It's been a while. And she brings it up without me even saying anything. I'm like, okay, there's a reason I love you. Okay. And so she brings it up and they're like, "I don't know what that is." Sure, steak sounds great. And we go to Saltgrass. And here's the thing, dude. Fast forward 5 years, this place is still fucking awesome. I love Saltgrass so much. Listen, you might be an Outback Steakhouse guy. You might be a Longhorn Steakhouse guy. You might be a Texas Roadhouse guy. I don't know where you fall in the spectrum of American chain steakhouse restaurants, but I am telling you, Saltgrass is the best. Now, they're a little pricier than the others. There's like a gamut of pricing for these like family chain steakhouse restaurants. Texas Roadhouse is famous for being one of the more affordable ones. I would say Saltgrass, it's a little more like Longhorn in that, it's not like an expensive steakhouse. It's not like a fancy place you go for your anniversary or something like that, but it is more expensive than Texas Roadhouse, but it's worth it. I'm telling you, man. Their signature seasoning, which I actually use when I'm barbecuing, I bought it on Amazon. You can use it at home. I use it on my barbecue. It's excellent. It's so good, so hard to beat. And everything there is so good, dude. I had Brussels sprouts that were amazing. That's not a thing that should happen at a steakhouse. I had a wedge salad that was amazing, probably because it had 3 fucking dressings mixed in it. But that's how God intended, I guess. So there we go. It was a phenomenal meal. I even got a cheaper, shittier cut of the steak. Because if I'm not paying, my rule of thumb is like, if I'm going out to dinner and I'm not paying, I'm always ordering something like low to mid price range. So I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll get the sirloin. Even the sirloin was great. And I'm usually like a ribeye guy if I'm really celebrating. But oh man, saltgrass, so fucking good. If you live in Texas or any state that has saltgrass, do yourself a favor. Go to Saltgrass, get yourself a strip or a ribeye or something. Even get the sirloin. It was good for the price. Medium rare, of course, like a gentleman. And oh man, their mac and cheese is awesome. They have a brisket queso that's awesome. We tried that. The wedge salad is awesome. The rattlesnake bites or whatever, like fucking bacon wrapped shrimp jalapeno popper fried things that are horrible for you but delicious. So good. The only thing I would say the other steakhouse restaurants, particularly Texas Roadhouse, have over Saltgrass, the complimentary bread there, so much better. Saltgrass complimentary bread, pretty fucking weak, but I don't care. Complimentary bread is not how I judge a good restaurant. It's even surprising to me that any restaurants even still do that, considering everything costs a shit ton of money and everything's constantly, all the good features are always taken away. But I just want to give a shout out to Saltgrass because they are the salt of the earth. And if I have it my way, we're going to go soon. I told my girlfriend, I was like, dude, that was so good. I miss Saltgrass. Can we go again soon? And she goes, I want Texas Roadhouse. I'm like, all right, fucking kill me, dude. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. She likes Texas Roadhouse more. Texas Roadhouse is good for the price. Texas Roadhouse is not good, period. It's good for the price. Saltgrass is just good. That's the difference. God bless America. Guys, I have been eating saltgrass, or at least I did once in the past week. And when I wasn't eating saltgrass or sleeping or doing dishes or working or driving, I was playing video games or reading about video games on my phone. And this past week, I played some video games. So let's talk about the games I've been playing. Let's talk about these first two things first, and then we'll get all into the Xbox ROG Ally. So, Vampire Crawlers, I'm 20 hours into this game. I love it. I haven't beaten it yet because I'm a fucking idiot. I got to the end of it on Steam, and then I switched to the Switch 2 version, started playing it again, and then I played a little bit last night on the ROG Ally. I'm all over the place. I need to just sit down and finish it. I'm probably like 2 hours away from really beating this game, but it's great. I love it. It's highly addictive. I said what I need to say about it. There's not really too much to say about it. It is just a very simple, fun, brilliant little game, and I cannot recommend it enough. The other game I've been playing, the game I've been playing more seriously, like actively this week, is Replaced. This is a game that came out a couple weeks ago. I bought it day one and was really excited to play it, but you might remember I downloaded it and then my Steam Deck was acting up, and so I sent it to Valve for repair, and then this game kind of got put on the back burner while I waited for my Steam Deck to get home. But I'm back to it. I'm playing it now, and man, I got feelings about this game. We got to talk about this game. Replaced is almost an immaculate game. The thing is, if you remember seeing the trailers from like the Xbox showcases over the past few years and everything, it is absolutely beautiful. This 2D world where it's incredibly detailed and things come into the foreground and fade into the background, and there's really like high quality lighting on this like otherwise beautifully like hand drawn looking fucking 2D pixel art thing. It has that like Project Octopath Traveler kind of look thing going on, but in this like 2D cyberpunk setting, and it's just so stunning to look at. And then on top of that, the game has beautiful music. There are some parts of this game where the music is just so atmospheric and just vibes so well. Like I just stop and I just listen for a while. Beautiful music. And then on top of that, the gameplay is actually better than what I was expecting, because the way they kept showing this game, I couldn't tell if it was like a Metroidvania or what it was. I thought it was more Metroidvania, but what it turns out to be is a cinematic, linear, like action platforming, light puzzle solving game with Batman Arkham combat. And like, it's fucking great. Like the puzzles are, it's not really puzzles. It's like more like exploration type stuff. It's always simple enough that like you don't, you feel smart and you don't get stuck and you feel good with moving on. But you can explore levels if you want. but it's mostly pretty linear, and there's lots of platforming, which I love. It's like Uncharted or like South of Midnight style platforming, but obviously 2D instead of 3D. And then the combat is so Batman Arkham. I mean, you can like enemies like will attack and they flash red, and that's how you know to roll out of the way and dodge them, or they'll flash yellow, and that means that you can like press the Y button and parry their attacks and then stun them and then beat the shit out of them. And just like Batman Arkham, you can be like punching one guy and then use parry to like move over to the guy next to him and start beating the fuck out of him, and then like a guy will come with a shield, so you use a heavy attack and break his shield, and then you charge up your gun meter, and then you can pull out your gun and do one shot, but the one shot's deadly, so you like take out one minion and then just like slide over, and then a guy will like shoot you with his gun, but there's this ability you unlock where you can deflect a bullet back at them, so you pull out your, like they'll pull out their gun and it will show a red laser like they're going to shoot you, and if you time it just right and hit the left bumper, your guy pulls out his gun, it deflects the fucking bullet back at that guy, and it will shoot him in the face and kill him. And it's so badass. The combat is awesome. The music is awesome. The art style is stunning. I fucking love this game. From a gameplay, sound, and art standpoint, this game is like a 9 out of 10. It's so good. I cannot recommend it enough. It's about 10 hours long. It's 10 missions, about 10 hours long. It's really, really good. I just really am loving Replaced. However, there's one thing about this game I'm not crazy about, and it's one of the most important, well, I don't know. I'm not as big on this now as I used to be, but the thing about the game that I'm not absolutely in love with is the story. I think the story is serviceable. It's not bad at all. The writing itself is fine. The problem is just the moment-to-moment narrative of this game, and there's a lot of text, there's a lot of story, there's a lot of interacting with characters and reading and things happening. I just don't care. Like, the synopsis is cool. It's like this AI thing that these scientists are working on, and then you as like the scientists go to test it out, but like you die in the process, and the AI basically takes over your body. So it's like this scientist body with the mind of the AI, and that's who you play as. And people refer to you as the AI, like they call you Warren, the name of the AI, you're not named after, or your Reach, which is the AI, not Warren, which is the scientist whose body you're controlling. And like it goes in cool places and stuff, but like it's a little paint by numbers. It's a little like generic cyberpunk shit. And then like it's not that the writing is bad. It's just like I'm just uninterested in pretty much everything that's happening. So I guess it's bad writing. I guess what I mean is it's not like corny writing. It's just like kind of dry. And I don't know, man. Like none of these characters really stand out to me. Nothing's really too interesting in what's going on. There are cinematic moments in the game where like set pieces and things that explode or things that happen just are so stunning to look at, and the game just is constantly just showing off how beautiful and unique it looks. But yeah, I just don't like. I'm like half paying attention. I'm at the very end of the game. I'm in the last probably hour of the game. I'm on the final mission or the final level, and I just like I'm like half focused. I can like tell you roughly half of what's going on, and I just kind of don't care about where it's going, but it's not stopping me from absolutely adoring every moment of playing this game. So I'm really loving it. I'm really, really, really loving it. I started on my Steam Deck. I played the first 8 hours on my Steam Deck. I want to maybe finish it up on PC so I can like kind of get a better, more cinematic look at it, but I'm probably going to just wrap it up on the Xbox ROG Ally. And with that said, that should bring us into the big thing here that we're talking about. Let me start off with a couple write-ins here. So we'll talk about the Xbox ROG Ally. First of all, Dead Captain James, I want to give you a shout out. Thank you, sir, for reaching out about your Xbox Ally that you're that you're like, oh, reach out to me and see, and I can send you mine. I appreciate that. That was super nice of you to reach out and say that. I literally purchased an Xbox ROG Ally like an hour and 37 minutes before you left that comment. So, weird cosmic timing or something. I don't know, but super nice of you to reach out. Appreciate you as always, Dead Captain James. I'm excited to talk about it because honestly, a lot of the things I've been looking out for, both good and bad, are based on things I've heard from you, and then of course from other YouTube videos and stuff I've consumed. So, especially your feedback on the screen experience on this device. So we'll get into that in a minute. And then Cargo Runner UK writes in because last week I was talking about how I like the Steam Deck a lot, but I'm like, I don't really know. I don't think it's exactly what I was expecting, and I don't know that I want to hang on to it. So Cargo Runner writes in and says, definitely sell your Steam Deck while the prices are high, especially because it's not the better OLED model. In fact, I would have a clean out all your old tech during this year, in order to be ready for the next generation next year. I used to hold on to tech too long, laptops, phones, consoles, handhelds. I think collection of hardly used devices just causes clutter and stress, especially if you have a backlog of games on every device. Cargo Runner, this is great advice. I immediately scoffed at it when I saw it because I'm like, I'm not selling my Steam Deck. You fucking crazy. And I'm not the kind of person who sells my old tech. Like, more specifically, I'm not the kind of person who sells my own game hardware. Like, I still have my N64, my GameCube, my Wii U, my Switch One, and everything. I hold every Nintendo thing, my Game Boy Color, my Game Boy Advance SP, my DS, my DS Lite, my 3DS. I hold on to that stuff. I love holding on to my old hardware. I still have my Xbox 360, my Xbox One, and I have an Xbox Series S and X. I'm not planning on selling either one of them. But I hold on to my video game hardware. To me, I'm not a hoarder or a clutterer, generally speaking. I like to purge. I like to be a little more minimal. But that is one thing that I have always accepted about myself is when it comes to my video game hardware, I want to hoard it. I want to hang on to it forever. I don't want it to age out. I don't want to purge it from my collection as it ages out. However, in the days following this comment, Mr. Cargo Runner, I went down every rabbit hole and back about what I'm doing here. So listen, you're catching me like in the middle of this PC gaming handheld crisis that I'm going through. So just know whatever I said last week, I feel totally different this week. And however I feel today, I probably feel really different about it next week when we come back for the next episode of the podcast. So just let me preface with that, and then I'll tell you. So the problem with the Steam Deck is I love this thing. I really do like playing games on it. Like, I've mostly played Vampire Crawlers and Replaced on it. I've tested some other games on it. For the most part, I actually really like the Steam Deck. I think ergonomically, it really grew on me. I love the way it feels in the hands. I think it plays great, all that. It's great for what I needed it to be. The problem comes in the form of the device is such a buggy little fucking freak-ass device. I bought the thing. It had the audio bug. I couldn't fix it. I tried every trick in the book. I had to send it back to Valve. Valve fixed it. They sent it back to me. Now the device works great. Now I'm having an issue where every time I put the device in sleep mode, 50% of the time it wakes up no problem. The other 50% of the time it just won't wake up. It just goes into a freeze mode when it's in sleep mode, and then I have to reboot this console or the device altogether. So I looked that up and I'm like, is this a defective device? Is there something wrong with it? And they're like, no, that's normal. That's a normal problem. Here, go into the settings and try this trick or this trick or this trick, and that will fix it. And so I go in the settings and I try the tricks, and it's like, okay, this one worked. Okay, that one didn't work. Oh, this one worked. And it's just like, I don't want a device like this. I don't want a device that is almost great, but it just constantly has these little problems. And then on top of that, Cronky's telling me about how he had a day one Steam Deck, but he sold it because his had a bug where like you would charge it to 100% and then 20 minutes later it'd be like 5% battery, and it was like a software thing or something, not a hardware issue. And it was just like, nah, fuck this, dude. Like, just, I'm not messing around with this. I'm not dealing with this. Like, don't have to do this. One of the things I love about Xbox is Xbox just fucking works. Say what you will about all the many things you could say about Xbox, but it just works, and it works great. And I was like, dude, this is driving me insane. And on top of that, there was this nagging in the back of my head that's like, I really don't want to add another platform to my repertoire of gaming. I want to have Xbox, which is my primary always, and then Nintendo, which is my secondary. And I want to keep that dynamic. I really don't want to complicate things by adding PlayStation or adding Steam into the mix. So I was like, you know what? The ROG Ally, I know I shit on it a lot, but it'd be really cool if I could like play 007 James Bond on my TV on my Xbox, and then like play a mission in bed on my device if it were Steam Deck or whatever have you, right? That's what I've really been enjoying about my Switch 2 lately is, I got Resident Evil, and I'll play Resident Evil for 2 hours on the TV, and then I'll pull it out of the dock and lay down on the couch and play for 30 more minutes. And then I'll go upstairs and play for 20 minutes as I fall asleep. And then I did it with Pragmata. And there's something about having that experience on the Switch 2, a device that actually is powerful enough to play real games and actually has real third-party support, not just Nintendo games only or shitty old ports of old games. Like, there's something about that with the Switch 2 where I'm like, I really, really admire the value in this vision of gaming, this great portable gaming experience that can also be played on TV. I'm like, I want that to be Xbox so fucking badly. Remember when Phil Spencer was baiting us with like, maybe we should make a handheld device? And we were like, oh my God, they're going to do a handheld. And then they didn't. It's like, damn it, I want that so bad. And even though PlayStation doesn't have like a full solution to it right this minute, we know they're working on a handheld dockable Switch like PlayStation 6. And on top of that, in the meantime, you got the PlayStation Portal, which is really fucking cool and works quite well. I'm just like, damn, Xbox just has nothing. Their streaming quality has actually gotten worse lately. And then their console or handheld device alternative is this thing that's like a Windows PC that like fucking cosplays as an Xbox. And so I was like, I don't know, man, maybe I should just try it, right? Because I can play Steam on it and I can kind of get some Xbox out of it. Let me see. And then it went on sale this week for Memorial Day. I guess this thing goes on sale all the time. I picked up the regular Xbox Ally, the white model, the one that's usually retails for $600, but I got on sale at Best Buy. And I picked up that version of it because I don't need the most powerful version. I'm not trying to run Battlefield 6 on my handheld. So I'm like, whatever, let me pick this one up. It's basically the same internal specs as a Steam Deck anyway. So let me pick this up. Brand new out of the box. I didn't buy it from Facebook Marketplace. Give it a fair shot. Make sure everything's working properly. And I picked this up, and I'll start with this. Every video you see complaining about the startup process when you first unbox an Xbox ROG Ally, every negative thing they say about it, it's not negative enough. The startup process of the Xbox Ally, when you first pull out of the box and turn on first time, it is the most like freshman year of college, just bought a computer for $400 at Walmart because I'll need something to write my college papers on kind of setup experience that you'll ever have in your life. It is such a sad, miserable, uneventful, anticlimactic letdown of a startup experience for a device that, if you get the nice one, costs $1,000 and touts itself as both an Xbox and a PC. It is a horrible initiation startup experience, and at the end of the day, this device does a pretty fucking horrible job of hiding the fact that it is a Windows 11 PC with a shitty Xbox shell over it that can also access anything your fucking PC can do. However, as I understand it, this device has gotten a lot better in the 6 or 8 months it's been on the market. Listen, the Xbox mode that it touts, like their version of like this Xbox launcher that the device kind of boots into when you open it up, it's good. It's not great. There's a million things they could do better on it. There's a lot of room for improvement. It's a little sluggish. It's not perfect, but it is good. As someone who loves Xbox and wishes an Xbox handheld existed, it's almost good enough to where I'm like, yeah, it's not the best thing out there. Steam Deck is better, the Switch is better, but this is Xbox's attempt, and I just want Xbox, so I'm going to deal with it. It's almost good enough for it to be like that. I'm hoping, I mean, as we know, the ROG Ally really is this, like, for Xbox, it's like this experimental prototype type device thing that they're using to help them, like, R&D through all the bugs and issues and figure out how to do Xbox on Windows the best, so that when they make Project Helix, this new next-gen console, that's a PC hybrid console, they can hopefully have most, if not all, of this stuff ironed out and really sorted through. So I understand the Xbox ROG Ally, if you buy one of these things, you're really just a beta tester for features and implementations of what will be realized on the Xbox Helix device. However, still, I expect a little more like pizzazz and effort in here. I mean, if you really want, you can easily go minimize the Xbox app and just be in a shitty fucking Windows 11 desktop setup. However, they do a good job of trying to make Windows pretty adaptable to controls. And if you really, like, once you really have the device set up and you're going, you can really, for the most part, ignore Windows and pretty much just be in your Xbox shell 99% of the time. And then you hit the Xbox button next to the analog stick, and you can use that to quickly just like power switch between like Xbox and Steam or Xbox and Epic Games. I'm only going to use Xbox and Steam. I don't care about any other client. But it is pretty seamless and easy to just switch between the Xbox client and the Steam client And it feels pretty good because I have it set up to where when it launches Xbox, it launches in Xbox mode. And when I launch Steam, I entered Steam Big Picture mode. So it just feels like I have an Xbox dashboard or a Steam dashboard that I can kind of seamlessly flip between. And I just have both my libraries there. So from that perspective, now that I'm set up and I'm going, it actually looks and feels pretty good. And let me give some other credit to this device. It's light. It feels great in the hand. The Xbox ergonomic influence on this game, like this device, the analog sticks feel phenomenal. The grips feel fantastic. The face buttons and the D-pad and the triggers and the bumpers feel good, but they don't feel like Xbox buttons. It definitely feels like Asus buttons, but they're still done well. I think overall, I mean, I actually was really getting attached to the feeling of the Steam Deck, but overall, I think the Xbox ROG Ally is probably the best feeling ergonomically gaming handheld thing device I've used, except for maybe the PlayStation Portal, but that's kind of a cheat code. It's just a fucking DualSense with a tablet in the middle. But yeah, it feels really good overall. It's cool. Like I appreciate that. Like if you want to fuck with settings, it has all these like overlays and things you can quickly access. You don't have to like go into Windows and fuck around. You can pretty much just press a button here and use the Asus kernel overlay thing to kind of like fuck with your wattage or your frame rate or your resolution and play around with PC settings pretty easily. But that being said, I feel like this device is going to take a little more like finessing to get games to look and run good compared to the Steam Deck, because the first game I actually played on this was Kiln, the new Double Fine game, because it was like a 6 gig download. It was right there in my library. I was like, fuck it, let's just do it so I can play something quick. Also, this is a pretty like small game. It should look and run just fine on this device. I don't think it looked that good. I had to fuck around with the settings to make it look and run good. Like it didn't run that well at first. I was like, really? It looks kind of washed out and muddy and everything. And I was like, was Dead Captain James right? Is this device just like, does the display just look like shit? Because in theory, it's not that different from the Steam Deck's display, except for this one is a higher resolution and has variable refresh rate. So like it should be better. No, but like, I don't know. I just feel like the display wasn't that great. But then I switched to Steam after fucking around with Windows for a while, with Xbox for a while. And I played Vampire Crawlers and I played Replaced, the two games I was playing on my Steam Deck, and I was like, this is just as good as the Steam Deck. Switching into Steam Big Picture, having my Steam library, playing the same kinds of games I was playing on my Steam Deck. This is fantastic. I'm super happy with it. No complaints. This is great. Love it. Then I switched back to Xbox. I'm like, I downloaded Black Ops 7. I was like, let me see how I can get Black Ops 7 running on this thing. A little surprised you can actually kind of get Black Ops 7 running pretty decently on this device. Not that bad. I had it chugging a little bit in the open world mode, whatever it's called, endgame. But if I fuck around with this things a little more, I'm pretty confident I can get that game running pretty good on this. So all in all, I kind of was left with this like conundrum, which is like, what do I do? Like, I like the Steam Deck, but it's kind of a buggy mess, and it's kind of like just this third rail to my Xbox Nintendo like lifestyle. Like, what do I want to do about it? So I bought the Xbox Ally knowing that GameStop or Best Buy, not GameStop. Best Buy has a very generous return policy. I can buy this. If I hate it, I'll return it. If I like it, I'll sell the Steam Deck because the Steam Deck is sold out everywhere, highly sought after. I can just throw it on Facebook Marketplace and get the money I paid for it right back in an instant. So I'm like, I'm going to give myself a week, play with both of these, figure out what I want to do, and I'll either return the ROG Ally or sell the Steam Deck. And then this morning I impulsively was like, well, let's just get the ball rolling just in case we're getting close to like the return deadline for the Xbox ROG Ally and I don't have like something figured out. So I put my Steam Deck on Facebook Marketplace this morning, expecting it to be kind of a slow rollout because Facebook Marketplace can be a little bit of an experience. And boom, like within 2 hours, I had like a pretty serious buyer who was like, yeah. And he agreed to buy it for what I paid for it. So I'm like, whoa. I can sell my Steam Deck to this guy like tomorrow and break even, like get all my money back. I'm like, that's pretty fucking good. I'm like, okay. So I'm just like, fuck it. You know what? It's meant to be. Let me hang on to the Xbox Ally because even though I think the Steam Deck's a little sexier, it works a little more seamlessly and a little more console-like. That thing is an unpredictable, buggy mess. And the Xbox Ally it's new, it's flashy. and I can play Xbox games if I need to, even though it doesn't really play all Xbox games. It's still better than nothing. It will do pretty much what my PC will do in a handheld form. That's cool. So for now, the plan is I'm selling the Steam Deck. By the time I'm back next week, my Steam Deck should be long gone. I'm keeping the Xbox ROG Ally. I still have like 10 days to figure out if I want to return it or not. But I think the plan is going to be to keep the ROG Ally. Unless I just end up hating it so much, then the next option is going to be return the ROG Ally, sell the Steam Deck. I'm done. Fucking give up. I got the Switch, I got the Xbox console, and we're done. That's it. So we'll see how it goes. But for now, it's like, listen, man, I know I've been nothing but critical about the ROG Ally, but in my defense, I didn't buy it because like I think it's an awesome device. I bought it because I'm deeply curious now. I've been down this rabbit hole for a couple months about like PC handheld gaming devices. And because of the investment I have in the Xbox ecosystem and because of my unrelenting commitment to Xbox, despite how bad they treat me, it kind of just makes sense to buy the Xbox version of these console PC hybrid gaming devices, despite the fact that this one has a lot of shortcomings and a lot of room for improvement. And another thing is my understanding of Steam Deck is that it was pretty rough in 2022 when it first came out, but they've done a lot to really make the platform better and better over the years. And additionally, my understanding is that the ROG Ally has come a long way in the 6 or 8 months it's been on the market, in that if we continue with the way things are going, this device is only going to get better and better and better over the next year or two. So I'm kind of curious, as someone who's a tech enthusiast, but also an Xbox fan, let's just go along for the ride. Let's stick with the Xbox Ally for now, and just see like if this evolves into something that's pretty great, especially as Xbox has been, I think, pretty successfully aggressive in expanding the Xbox Play Anywhere program, which I think is the most important thing moving forward for supporting devices like this and Helix. That being said, I would love to see Xbox go backwards and try to get more Play Anywhere added to older games. But I do applaud that they're doing a really good job, for the most part, of getting third parties to adhere to and abide by this kind of Play Anywhere future that we're in. So I don't know. Do I like the Xbox ROG Ally? I like things about it. I don't love it. It certainly doesn't look and feel like an Xbox, but it's got some pros. It's got a lot of cons. Steam Deck I really loved, but it also at the same time I feel like it was a bad investment for how things were working out with that device. So we'll continue to monitor this weird PC handheld hybrid thing I'm going through, this crisis I'm going through. But all the while, until we really get this resolved, I just want to keep consistent with one message and one message only, which is that the Nintendo Switch 2 fucking rocks. I love that thing so much. It's better than everything else. There's nothing, like literally the only thing I love right now in video games is the Nintendo Switch 2. I love my Series X, don't get me wrong, it's a great piece of tech. But the only thing that I love, and it isn't pissing me off constantly, is that Switch 2. I love it so much. All right. That's it for what I've been playing. I'm going to take another quick water break, come back, and then we'll wrap up with some comments, and that should be the show. All right, guys, time for the best and last segment of the show, the comments from youtube.com. Click on the latest episode of the Xbox On podcast, drop a comment of any type, and I'll read it on the show because I need engagement from the audience in order to keep my soul running. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation. Let's get into it, guys. We got 6 comments left to go through after the ones we read earlier. And we're going to kick things off with Mr. Way of the Lao, who says, I too have an uncle, my guy. I have no fucking clue what that's in reference to, but Mr. Way of the Lao, it is always good to see you. Parksy1972 says, well, Jesse, you nearly made it through a whole episode being positive about Xbox. You were so close. It was looking so good until you got to Game Pass. I hope Game Pass stays forever, because the money I spend on Game Pass on a year, €70, or British pounds, or whatever the fuck that looking thing is, you gross, could buy me one full-price game, and the money I save on first-party games means I can buy more third-party games. Listen, man, I don't want to, as they say, yuck anyone's yum or whatever. Like, to the people out there who love Game Pass and get a lot of value out of it and really enjoy it, I don't want to take that away from you. I think that's great. I think people should continue to enjoy Game Pass so long as it's a thing that exists. I'm happy for you. I just can't contend with the fact that Game Pass is something that is ruining the industry. I'm tired of years and years and years of waiting to see if it's good, if it works, if it's profitable, if it's viable and sustainable. I'm tired of waiting and just like having these hypothetical conversations. It's been around long enough that we can clearly see it has done more damage to Xbox than it has good. I mean, Xbox does not make money anymore. The reason we have Microsoft putting all their games on PlayStation, it's not just because Xbox hardware sales are down. It's because Xbox doubled and tripled down on these bad ideas like Game Pass, which train people to stop buying games on Xbox as a platform. And because of that, they need to find somewhere to sell these games to make money to justify the high development costs. And so it's not to say that you're wrong or bad for liking Game Pass or using Game Pass. It's just to say, don't expect things to get better in a world where Game Pass is like some laud or some beloved, highly celebrated and highly engaged in subscription service, because it is fucking up the financial viability and the dynamic that has been set forth for many decades at this point for how gaming should work. And it's just doing more damage than it is good. And I'm happy to pay personally for my games a la carte. It makes me enjoy my games a lot more because I have to be a lot more deliberate and decisive about which games I choose to purchase and play. And I feel more invested in playing them when I put my own money on the line in order to get access to them. However, if not all people are that way, and that's totally fine. And again, I'm not trying to yuck your yum, as they say. If you like getting your games through Game Pass and saving money, I will say I don't fucking blame you. There's a lot of value to Game Pass. There's a lot to love about Game Pass, and more power to you if it's something you're getting value out of in the meantime. But Midnight 2067 writes in and says, "Hey Jesse, I also find it baffling how some people will complain and not every single game is a 100 plus hour long game. It's like, my guy, instead of bitching about this, use the time and energy to try to get laid instead, because you know what? It actually might happen." Midnight 2067, the fact that you think someone who regularly plays 100-hour plus video games has any prayer of a chance of getting laid tells me one thing. Your whole life is a simulation. It is a 100 plus hour long video game dedicated to trying to get laid, because you think in these terms that just don't apply to us living the real world. Midnight. See, I get laid all the time. I go to Hawaii. And when I get off the plane, there are beautiful women everywhere, and they're waiting to lay me. They take these necklaces made of fine tropical flowers, and they lay me. They put the lays around my neck, and they say, "Welcome to," and they call it Hawaii, and I don't really give a shit if it's their island. I'm still going to call it Hawaii because, it's my country, and Hawaii therefore is my land, and I insist that's pronounced Hawaii. But yeah, they lay me, and then also I get laid out by my boss all the time when I do a bad job at work, which is always. He lays into me. He says, "Jesse, you suck. You're a disappointment. I wish I could fire you, but unfortunately you have photos of me at a Christmas party with girly panties on, and I know you would leak that to everyone if anyone found out, and I'd be in trouble." So that's another way I get laid all the time. And then also, can you imagine if you were a paver, if you were like a concrete or a brick paver? Dude, you'd be laying out concrete or bricks all day long. I'd be a brick paver. Oh, brick pavers, they love getting laid. They get paid to get laid. Do you know that? Do you know that, Mr. Parksy? No, not Mr. Parksy. I'm sorry, you're British. Let me delete that. Mr. Midnight 2067. What are we talking about? 100 plus hour games. Yeah, fuck them. Replace is like 10 hours long. Beautiful. Gives me enough time to really enjoy 10 wonderful hours with that game, and then move on to Lego Batman like a normal fucking person. And yeah, as you just heard, I get laid a lot. Whether it's bricks, bosses, or flowers in Hawaii, I get laid. Baby boy, thank you for writing in, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Mr. Tim R. writes in. The R stands for redundant because his brother and his dad are also named Tim, so they call him Tim R, so you know that it's a redundant name because they're all Tim. But he says, "Man, I really wanted to make a comment about physical media being the only way to own your games and talk about how it seems like you're pro-corporate control over everything. Unfortunately, I really don't have the time to go as in-depth as I'd like, so this is all I got. Love the podcast. Keep up the great work." And just to be clear, I know you're not pro-corporate control. It just sounds that way. Also, to be even clearer, this comment was made when I had listened when I had listened to your rant about physical media only. Dude, that's totally fine. I mean, listen, I appreciate it, man. No, it wasn't taken any kind of way, and I appreciate your perspective, and I get the arguments for physical media from that perspective. It's just, I think what it comes down to, man, it's just like, I'm so lazy, and the convenience is so great, you know? It's like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you just, I don't know, man. The other thing about it is either the gaming community is just extra loud, which is probably true. Or video games, I keep almost saying Xbox. Video games are just some very, very, very unique form of media where people are just extra particular and needy about the physical media. Now, in music, I get it. I totally, I don't get like the resurgence and like people that want like CDs or cassette tapes. It's like, okay, whatever, dude. But like people who are vinyl snobs, like I get why people are like that, because there's an argument to be made about the quality and the specific sound you get from a vinyl record that you can't get from like streaming songs on Spotify or whatever. So like, I do understand the argument for physical media when it comes to things, namely music, because there is a quality and a experience with the product that you get that is just inherently different when it's physical versus digital. But with video games, it's like, I don't know, man. It's like, to me, I treat it like movies. It's like, who gives a shit if you have a physical movie library versus a digital one? Like, chances are you're never going to go back and play this game or that game. Like if I had $1 for every time I beaten a game and gone, man, that game was really good, I'm probably gonna go back and play it again. And then I just never did. It's like, I'd have a decent amount of dollars. I could afford to take maybe all of you guys listening out to Saltgrass for a little Xbox On celebration. But I just, listen, man, I'm just a tired, lazy piece of shit. It's really not that I want people to not have access to physical media. It's just like, I just feel like people are so desperate to die on this hill. And it's like, I don't know, man, like half the fucking video game players out there are on like mobile and PC, and on those platforms, you don't even get the choice to have physical media. So it's like, why must the console players just always be droning on and on and on about their desire to have physical media? I don't know, man. To each their own, live and let live. But Tim R., I hope you have a wonderful week, and I hope that when you measure your pee-pee, you find out that it's much like the Grinch's heart. It's what is it, 2 times too small? No, at the end when he's a good guy, it's 2 times too big, and then he gets a big heart. But because it's a cartoon, he doesn't get a heart attack about it. His heart doesn't pop. I don't want your penis to pop, Tim R. That's not what I'm saying. Cronky writes in, says 2 notes about DRM and physical media. 1, I always have thought people fighting for physical media were misguided and that they should instead battle DRM. Secondly, you are not thinking about DRM properly. Forget do I have a relatively stable internet connection? Instead, think Forza Horizon goes off the market every couple of years because of copyright issues. Imagine if instead no one is able to buy it any longer. They remove it from your library altogether. Today, Microsoft can absolutely do that to you. Sony has done it with multiple games I've purchased over the years. Okay, and listen, that is a totally valid criticism and argument. But here's the thing: is Xbox doesn't fucking do that. When they take a Forza Horizon game off because of licensing issues, which they've done with Forza Horizon 3, which they've done with Forza Horizon 4. It is, you can buy it, and then if you have it, you can re-download it and play it indefinitely, forever, whenever. I understand you're saying still, but that's not like someone giving you the game and saying, here, play it whenever you want. It's more like someone saying, hey, I have this game, I'll let you play it whenever you want. And it's like, okay, well, what if that person changes their mind? I get it. You're still putting the power in Xbox's hands, and they could be the ones to pull the rug from under your feet at any given time. So I totally get that, but that's not what they do. You know, when games go offline on Xbox, people go, hey, buy this before it gets delisted. What is it? That Lego 2K racing game that came out like 2 years ago and bombed? That game is being delisted in a couple days. And same thing, buy it now and you can download it whenever you want as long as you purchased it. You're entitled to it. So, I mean, that is how Xbox handles that. I understand if the concern is that they could change their mind at any time, and maybe PlayStation does that. I didn't know that to be true. But Xbox has again and again proven that when games get delisted, as long as you own them, you have access to them, which is the same thing with physical media. Once the game goes out of print, the only way to get it is to like buy a used copy on eBay or something. So again, listen, I'm not saying physical media shouldn't exist. I just think people are just so loud about it. That's almost annoying to me. But again, that is a totally fair point. I am totally happy to live in a world where physical media continues to exist. I just think the way physical media should work is it shouldn't be a hindrance on the 90% of people that don't care about it. So like the Xbox console should be cheaper because it doesn't have a disk drive, because most people don't care about the disk drive. And then for those of you that do care about the disk drive, you should be able to go buy an external disk drive, hook it up to your Xbox, and play your physical media that way. Again, games should cost $70 on the Xbox Marketplace, but because physical media costs more money to print and distribute and ship, and retailers get a cut and everything, maybe they should cost like $10 to $15 more at Best Buy or Walmart versus downloading directly from the Xbox store, because it literally costs them more to get that game to market for you, that those of you that want physical copies. And maybe it should just be a thing where it's like made in a limited run, where maybe you don't go to Best Buy and pick up a copy of Halo Infinite, but you can go to xbox.com and buy the physical copy, and then they'll ship it to your house or something in more of a limited quantity type of thing. I just don't think we need physical media in the way we have physical media. You can still buy vinyl at Target. They don't have a whole like fucking 3 aisles dedicated to it, but you can buy vinyl at Target, even though you're listening to most of your music on Spotify. However, they still got like 3 fucking aisles of video games at Target. It's like, here's the Nintendo aisle and the Xbox aisle and the PlayStation aisle. It's like, we don't really need that. It's kind of unnecessary. Listen, I love having it. It's cool. It's fun to look around, but we don't really need that, because in today's world, it's just like, I don't know, man, just like fucking go online and buy the physical copy and have it shipped to your house. But like, I don't need my grocery store to have fewer options of baby powder because you have to have fucking NBA 2K21 still on store shelves in case you're afraid of it getting delisted one day. It's like, I don't know, man. I'm not fighting in defense of corporations or in defense of the demise of physical media. I just don't think it really needs to be this like equally represented thing in the marketplace, because the overwhelming majority of consumers have already spoken with their wallets and said, yeah, don't really care about physical media. And it's totally cool to cater to a niche audience, a passionate small group of people that want it. But I just don't think it needs to be as equally represented and preserved as people kind of suggest. That's all I'm saying. But I don't have any problem with what anyone's bringing up. I think everyone's got good points, and I don't know. I'm not passionate enough about any of this to really be like, no, you're wrong, let me tell you why. It's like, yeah, that's fair enough. Fair. Let's round out, guys. We have one more comment. It comes from 360 Bro YouTube, who writes in and says, friendly reminder that we used to pay $20 for Call of Duty on Game Pass. Now you pay $23 for no Call of Duty on Game Pass and slop like Fortnite Crew and Ubisoft Classics. Kudos to Xbox for making it look like a win for gamers, though. This is the problem, though. This is the problem. 360 Bro, what you're saying is technically true. And again, God, now it does sound like I'm a shill for the companies. But here's the thing. Game Pass was never supposed to be $20 a month. Never. And I feel like people like to conveniently forget this shit with everything, with every kind of subscription product, because there is a specific business model for how subscription services work. And the idea is always you start off with a great content offering at a great price. You get a shit ton of people hooked on the product to the point where they go, wow, this money that I pay for this service is trivial in comparison to the value I get from it. And then as you start to get a large, passionate base that would never unsubscribe to your service because they love what you offer, you slowly raise the prices over time until it becomes a profitable service. I'm going to say this again. I know we've been having this conversation, not you and I, 360 bro, but myself and various commenters over the course of the past 7 years have had this conversation time in memoriam that I believe Game Pass is not profitable. It's not sustainable. And I can absolutely promise you on my fucking dog's grave, my non-existent dog's grave, that $20 a month for Game Pass Ultimate with Call of Duty and all first-party Xbox content day one at about 35 to 40 million subscribers is, let me put my hands around my mouth to cup it like a fucking megaphone, is not even remotely profitable or sustainable. These Call of Duty games cost almost $1 billion goddamn dollars a year to make. There is no way $20 is profitable or sustainable, which means there is no way $20 was ever intended to be the final price. $20 was just the price of Game Pass when they added Call of Duty, with the intention being that we will continue to raise the price and raise the price and raise the price and raise the price. And then when they finally started doing that, they realized people aren't that hooked on the service. People are pissed for raising the price, and people are willing to bounce because we have failed to make Game Pass a compelling enough of a service to where people feel like even for $30, they couldn't bear to cut ties with this subscription service. Unfortunately, people thought, no, I can absolutely cut ties for $30 because that's too much. That was the bulking price for the majority of people, much to Microsoft's dismay. However, that doesn't mean that even $30 was profitable. I think the intention was they would raise it again. I don't think even $30 was supposed to be the stopping point. I think they were going to go to 35 and to 40 over time. Now, the jump from 20 to 30 was abrasive and fast. Like, I thought they would have done like $20, now $23, now $25, now $28, now $30 over like 2, 3, 4 years. You know, that's what I thought they were going to do. To just jump the shark from 20 to 30 was rough. That was some like fucking I don't know. That was like electric shock. That's like throwing someone's head underwater and putting a radio in there. It's just very, very jarring the way they did that. However, their capitulation, they're lowering the price of Game Pass down to $23 and removing Call of Duty. Yeah, it is a worse value proposition than what we had before. Do you know why it is, though? It's because Game Pass, I'm going to say it again, is not profitable and not sustainable. And they hemorrhaged so many fucking subscribers jumping to $30 a month that they said, oh shit, we got to figure this out. Because they thought they could just stand their ground and be like, no, it's $30. Fuck you. Yeah, a lot of you guys unsubscribe, but you'll be back. But the people didn't come back. And Asha Sharma got in there, and people were talking about it, and they're like, yeah, this isn't working. Game Pass isn't working. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't know anyone inside of Xbox, so there's no way I know this for a fact. But I feel pretty fucking confident that there are a lot of people, especially higher-ups, bean counters, big decision makers, who would want nothing more in this world than to put the fucking kibosh, or what is the term? Throw the flame retardant tarp over the fire that is Game Pass, the dumpster fire that is Game Pass. There are so many people at Microsoft that would love to axe Game Pass because it is a massive money sink. It is not worth what they're investing in it. They're not making money off of it. The goodwill is going out the window. Why are they doing this? The problem is Game Pass is Pandora's box, and you cannot put it back once you've opened it. And that's where they are. They're in a rock and a hard place. So that's why you have $23 Game Pass with no Call of Duty, because they're in the rock and hard place. They got to find a way to make things financially viable. $23 a month for Game Pass Ultimate without Call of Duty still isn't it, by the way. And also, the whole Activision acquisition was completely for naught because it was all about getting Call of Duty and Game Pass, and now they're removing Call of Duty from Game Pass. So Game Pass is a failure. Buying Activision was a failure. Everything Xbox has been doing, especially this past generation, massive fucking failure. So yeah, I mean, it's not Xbox pulled one over by being like, oh, I bet we can still keep the price above $20 and get Call of Duty out of there. It's like, no. These guys are fucked. They're desperately trying to find a way to get people back to Game Pass, because if you can't get rid of Game Pass, you got to grow Game Pass, right? So they're desperately trying to grow Game Pass while also not sacrificing Call of Duty, something everyone in the world knew would happen if they put it on Game Pass, something Bobby Kotick fucking admitted during the FTC trials. Yeah, this is Xbox scrambling, trying to figure out how to salvage things. That's what you're seeing. It's not greed, it's panic. And I just want to be really clear about that, because I think, it's like Microsoft is a seedy, evil, fucking shitty for-profit company that doesn't give a shit about you and just wants what's in your wallet. But the decision-making going on right now at Xbox and the reaction to the way the audiences have been engaging less, spending less, unsubscribing, all the rest is a knee-jerk reaction coming from a state of panic, not from a state of greed. That is where we are. Raising to $30, jumping from $20 to $30 with no warning or no ramp up, that was greed. But dropping to $23, removing Call of Duty from Game Pass, and basically admitting we throw our hands up, we don't know what the fuck we're doing, we're fucked. That's panic. So I don't know. 360 bro, again, your perspective is still valid, of course, because it is more money with less content. You're not wrong. It's just it just might not be for the reasons you necessarily suggest. But guys, that does it for the podcast. That's another week of Xbox On in the books, which means I can go edit this puppy and then go to bed, which I'm excited to do. So thank you all so much for listening. As always, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Take care, be safe, be well. Play ROG Ally, play Steam Deck, play real Xbox, play fake Xbox, play PC, play iPhone. I don't give a shit what you do. But there's one thing I do need you to do. I need you to do me a favor. Lean in. Let me talk to you. Let me talk in your ear. I need you to power your dreams.